All right, everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Liz. Shout out to all you replay players. Thank you so much for hitting the replay and joining us later. But if you are tuning in live, come on in, share, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Um, and we will get started here shortly. I'm going to go ahead and share it on my page. I'm so excited. I have an awesome special guest here tonight. So we will get into introducing her very soon. Hello, hello. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in from Periscope. Hope everybody's Monday is going well. All right, let me find this live. Hang on. You know how we do. We'll first go over our tea time announcements, and then we are going to get into some good stuff tonight. Our discussion is going to be talking about overcoming your past. How can you overcome your past and start to evolve into who God called you to be? What is up, Miss Lady Foster? Miss Lady Gina Foster, what is up, ma'am? Hello, hello. All right. Why is it not showing? Oh my goodness. Hope everyone is doing well. Give me a minute. I'm trying to find my own live, y'all. I can't find it.
Mhm.
Is it me or am I just missing something? Oh, there we go. Okay, whoopsie. And we got, okay, there we go. All right, have a little technical difficulties. You know what I did? I shared it on my personal page and forgot to put it on the Tea Time for Liz page. It was definitely a Monday, but shout out to everyone. Welcome to Tea Time again. I hope you are having a wonderful Monday, better than what I'm going through right now. But it's all good. Y'all are here. That's all that matters. Hello, Miss Jackie. Hello, hello. Um, so tonight, of course, you know, we got to do our announcements. So next week is our vision board party, you all. I'm super excited. So get your materials, get your boards together, and we are going to talk about vision, what it means as we are putting our vision boards together, sharing what you're putting on your vision board. I will show the link actually where you can actually join me live if you want to during the live. So it should be an exciting time. I've kind of started prepping mine a little bit. I did a little something, something, but we're going to add to it. Need a little color, a little bit more color to it. Anyway, a little bit more vision. So I'm super excited about that. And it will be the last tea time for season 1. We're going out with a bang. So, super excited, and so stay tuned because Tea Time with Liz shirts, hopefully y'all can see these in the camera. There we go. They'll be coming out soon, but you can definitely get your Tea Time with Liz mugs, in which my lighting is a little bright tonight. There we go. You can get your mugs now. There is a link in the Tea Time for Liz page where you can order yours. We will give one out tonight. So be tuning into that towards the end. All right. I think that is it. Like I said, I will be showing and sharing replays throughout the month of February, and then we will launch our season 2 in March. So super excited. So nevertheless, let's get into it tonight. I'm so grateful, so happy that I call her my best friend, my sister. She another Clark sister. She says she's the VIP section. Miss Tamika Rhodes with me tonight. I'm super excited. She did, a lot of my friends, they want to hide. They don't like to be in the camera. So I got to pull them. And I'm so happy she is here with me tonight. But we're going to have an amazing discussion. We're going to talk about, like I said, overcoming our past and evolving into the women or the men of God that God has called us to be. So, but more about Miss Tamika. Say hi to the people. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Tamika Rhodes. I live here in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Whoop, whoop.
I am married, 19
Shout
years this
out.
June, with
Yes.
3 children,
Come on.
one in college and the other two in high school and in middle school. So
Okay.
that is a little bit about me.
She failed to tell y'all she a whole stylist. She got her own little situation going.
Yeah, I forgot
She
that.
trying she trying to be modest out here. She a beast on the locks. Okay, if you got locks and you in the Minnesota area, look her up. Follow her here on Facebook. She also has Instagram, which is Inner Lock Studio. Is it that your handle
Inner
on
You Hair
Instagram?
Studio.
Oh, that's a bad friend. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I got the first part. Right? But follow her on Instagram. You can definitely see her work on both social media platforms. I'll let her tell a little bit more of what she does besides locks, because I know she do the locks. But tell us more, ma'am.
Yes, so I do locks. That's my specialty. That's what I love the absolute most. But most importantly is the overall health of the hair. So natural hair is what I really love. I love to grow out the natural hair. Those individuals that are like trying to come out of their wigs or be natural, but they don't really feel comfortable in their natural hair and they may want to start locks or they're just not sure where they want to go. I may do protective styles for them, crochet, braids, whatever it is that they really desire that is protective for their hair.
Yes, and she's definitely done a couple braid styles for me, and she got the girl looking snatched. Okay, so always hook her. She always hooks me up. She's definitely hooked up my sister and my brother-in-law with their locks. They are definitely looking fly out here with those. So, like I said, she is a whole stylist, but she is also an amazing minister, amazing mother, amazing wife, and she has so much wisdom to share with us tonight. So I hope you guys got your tea. Like I said, if you got your teacups, get your tea together. Otherwise, your water, whatever. Get your notebooks, get your pads, get your tissues, because we're going to get into this discussion. So we both warned each other, like, if we cry, it just may be one of those moments. Okay, so but anyway, shout out to all of you. Let's say hi to a couple more people. Hello, Miss Teresa. We have my sister Audrey and my sister Vanessa and Miss Siobhan, who was with us a couple weeks ago. Hello. Thank you all for tuning in. So, like I said, tonight's topic is overcoming your past, overcoming the words that people have spoken into your life, maybe even just the atmospheres that you grew up around have tried to hold you back and you feel like you're not evolving. My amazing sister tonight has an amazing story to tell from her experience of life and just some wisdom, and we're just gonna give the tea, right? So, Miss Tamika, um, tell us about some of the things, or actually, let me ask you this: how important is it to overcome your past? Hello. Sorry, saying hi to the
Super.
people.
It's okay. Say hi to the people. Hello,
Say hi,
everyone.
hello, people.
It's so important to overcome your past because your past can really help shape or define your future. And sometimes we can get lost in our past that we don't see our way even progressing past that. And so
Mm,
it's so important to really understand that the past is called the past for a reason because it's supposed to be in the past. It's not supposed to define who you are in the future and who you are becoming.
that's real. And that's what we definitely have to look at and address. So knowing that whatever has happened in our past, there are moments where we do have to look at it, but it doesn't, once again, it doesn't define us, right? It doesn't make us who we are. So let's talk about your adolescent stage because we're going to take this in stages and how
Mhm.
it got you to each stage. Or how you overcame each stage. So, was there any challenges in your adolescence that you feel caused you to evolve in who you are today?
Oh no, I had the perfect childhood growing up, you know.
Well,
No, just
God
kidding.
bless you. God bless you. Okay.
No, it's one of those things where, you don't really know until you grow up a little bit, kind of about the things that you have experienced in your past. So, I'm the youngest of seven. Um, and being the youngest of seven, of course, there were some things that I got away with a lot. If one person couldn't deliver something for me, I would go to the next.
Right.
If my mom, got after me for something that I didn't do or that I was supposed to do, I would go to one of my siblings because they were my savior, right? They
Right.
would have my back, like, Mom, it's okay. Just let her, do whatever. And I just remember one time when I was younger, I had to be at least, I wasn't even school age yet. I want to say I was at between the age of 3 and 4, somewhere around there. I wasn't even in kindergarten. And I remember my mom had spanked me. I don't even know if she even spanked me. I know she yelled at me. And I was so devastated. I was so mad. And I told my sister, tell y'all's mama I'm getting an apple. Because I was so like upset that she chastised me for doing something that I know good
Yes.
and well I shouldn't have done. Uh, so,
Yes.
as a child, of course, I had
Well,
my
shout
my
out to
older
all of you
siblings and
babies
stuff.
out there that get away with everything. Shout out to all you babies. Unfortunately, I was the oldest. I was one of
Yes,
those oldest children.
I'm sure my siblings probably could tell you things that I've done that they've taken the fall for. I'm sure
Yeah.
they could.
Yes.
Um,
Shout out,
but
actually, shout out to all the older ones that took the burden. That
yes,
took the
shout out to
burdens.
them. Shout out to them. Because I'm sure I was cutting up.
Yeah.
But those things that I've done in the past and or I've experienced in the past have definitely shaped me. Now, when you talk about adolescent years and you get into more of the elementary school age range, where you begin to like learn and understand
Okay.
some things. And my mom was always there. My mom has never, skipped a beat. 7 kids by herself, single mom, doing her thing,
Wow.
working 2 and 3 jobs at a time, providing and making a way. Mind you, no county assistant. She did it all by herself out of her
Come
own pocket.
on. Come on.
So she had to do what she had to do.
Hey.
So I saw that in her, like the grind. So that's where I get my grind from. Now,
Okay.
as becoming an adult,
Yes.
I saw her work. Like whatever she wanted, she got. Whatever
Mm.
she set her mind to achieve, she did. And so I saw that strong and that strength of a woman, having to go and endure some things and making things happen for herself. And then, getting into, the middle school age years, again, that grind. I saw that was something that I remember vividly in all stages of my life. My mom just working her behind off
Mm.
and providing for her family. And anyone that needed help, she always provided, and always helped them in different ways. So I can definitely say that I get a lot of that strength and grind and helps from my mom.
Okay. That's what's up. And you know, some things are good and some things are bad. And so um
Yep.
oh good there's a good worth ethic, you know. And I think even for our generation,
Hmm.
we know how to grind. We know how to get our coins, as we say, and get what we need to get.
Hmm.
However, sometimes I have seen in the younger generation, not to point fingers, but the work ethic isn't the same. That, you know, a lot of things are too tangible
Hmm.
or easy come ups. You know, everybody wants to be a social media influencer and just, you know, make these millions making videos. You know, like it's
Hmm.
crazy that people can make videos off of just like playing video games and
Hmm.
just doing nothing in my eyesight, right? But we over here talking about, you know, you don't quit, you wake up early, you go to bed late, you don't, whatever that was. But that's helped you in your I wouldn't say older years because we're not old, right? We're just, you
Not
know,
at all.
as we
Hmm.
evolved, there we go. It has helped you as you evolved. But so just dealing with some of the, I mean, even coming from a single parent home, that probably had its challenges as well. I'm assuming just not having that. Did you have a father figure? Did you not have a father figure? What was your?
Well, I will say that I did have some father figures. Like my brother, he really stepped up and really played the role of a father and protector. My dad, of course, he wasn't really there physically, nor was he there financially. Let me just be honest, because my mom made it happen by herself. But even in that, I have an uncle who I have been able to see go through his share of experiences through life.
Mm,
And I've seen the downs and I've seen the ups. And from watching him as I have grown up and matured, I see his grind and his willingness to really do what it takes to even overcome his past as a man and do what he needed to do to provide for his daughter and even to help my mom, you know, and the things
that's
that
good.
he has helped her um do and achieve and just being there to support even in his time of, you know, adversity and drug addiction and things like that. He still was present, you know, and then him being clean for several years now. I mean, I think it's probably close to 15 years with him being clean, or even it may even be more than that. But he's been drug free for so many years, and that's his testimony. But just seeing him go from point A to point B, and how God had transformed his life to be that positive influence that he needed to be for us as we begin to grow older and mature. And my mom needed that, you know, more support and help. And he was always there, you know, good or bad. He was always present. So yeah, I would say I definitely have had some role of a father figure in my life. Probably not the ideal, um, you know, father figure. So there was definitely some things that I missed.
Mhm.
Um, and some things that you know I wish I probably would have had. But now going through these life experience, I understand, you
Mhm.
know, what those things meant and the
Right.
significance of those things that maybe I didn't have. Um, so yeah.
Okay. All right. So then that's your adolescence. So let's
Mm-hmm.
jump into middle school, high school age, preteen, teen.
Uh-oh.
Child, what was it like, huh? What was
Uh-oh.
life like for Miss Tamika?
Uh-oh, you know, I was feeling my whole entire self,
Your house
okay?
self,
Let's
huh?
just skip right to teen years. Let's just skip and go
She
there.
said, forget the
Well, middle
preteen.
school, I was definitely feeling myself. You know, back
Wow.
then, you know, they had the teen nightclubs, you know, and I definitely wanted to, you know, feel what that was like because I saw my siblings, you know, living their best life back
Come
then, you
on.
know, and doing the party thing or getting dressed to go out or whatever. And
Right.
I believe I wasn't even really old enough to get into the teen club yet. but I was from St. Paul going over to
Wow.
Minneapolis. So I
Wow.
was able to use my middle school or high school ID, my middle school ID, because they didn't know, they just had the school on the school name. They didn't know what school it was or whatever. So I was able to get in a little earlier, um, at an earlier age, and
Already sneaking into the
get my
club. They
dance
ain't even
on, and
21.
yes, wasn't even 18. Okay,
18 at that.
so but see, that's the beauty in the power of God and how
Right.
he protects you even when you're foolish. Because there
Right.
are some things that I saw being a teenager where people have been thrown through the window, at the club, or it came and got maced up. Um, I'm out there doing what I ain't supposed to be doing,
Right.
and in places where I'm not supposed to be, but God still saw it fit enough to keep me protected. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I never felt like I belonged there, but
Right.
that's where all my friends were. That's what everybody was doing. So,
That's what
I had to
everybody
follow,
was
the
doing.
crowd
I
to
mean,
see what it was about. Like, come
right?
on.
That. First of all, shout out to Minnesota for teen clubs, because I ain't never heard of that. But Gina
But we ain't
said,
got them no more. But
what club was that?
graffitis.
um, but once again, your atmosphere, or your family atmosphere at that, influenced you to want to be curious in what life had and what life looked like. And so going out, going clubbing and all that stuff, was what you thought was life was about, right? And
Hmm.
so and like you said, thanks be to God that none of that stuff happened, because sometimes, going to the club, I mean, I am talking from a small time of experience. Sometimes going to the club isn't always what it's cracked up to be. You
Mm-mm.
go in there to have fun, do your thing, but danger can arise at any moment, at any time. And when that does, we're grateful to still stand and tell the testimony that I'm still here, right?
Right.
So one thing you did say, though, you said that you felt like you didn't belong. Talk about that a little bit. What made you feel like you didn't belong?
I just didn't feel like it was the place for me. I didn't feel like I didn't really feel like I was like everybody else in the crowd. Although I tried to fit in and speak like everybody else and dress like everybody else, um, I just didn't feel um, like I really was, like that's where I really should have been. Um, I was always kind of like on the outside, but I
Mm-hmm.
was in, but I wasn't really in. Um, but I had to reach a point where I didn't even force myself to fit in anymore. I just was okay with, you know, being on the outside and just kind of doing me until God really delivered that desire to even, want to go to the club. Because I just really loved dancing, very inappropriately. By the way, just
Well,
being
the
honest.
Lord delivered you from the twerk,
Oh,
boy.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. Give God some praise, okay?
Hey, hallelujah.
And I never really saw my mom get dressed to go out and go to the club, or anything like that. So it wasn't something that I saw her do, but it was
Okay,
something that because my mom was always busy working.
right.
But I did see my siblings and stuff getting ready to go out and stuff like that. Um, so that was always like, what they doing? I want to try to get dressed up and try to, do what they did. But one time I remember going to the club, and I was dancing, get my dance on, and the next song came on, and it was Kirk Franklin's Stomp, and I was like,
Stop.
I am not
Wait.
dancing to that. And there were some folks on the dance floor getting it. You hear me? Getting it to Stomp, and I said, you know what? Lord, I'm sorry. I'm not dancing. I cannot. I'm not even stumping to that in club. Like I'm not doing
She said,
that.
I can't even stop. Not even hit a toe.
No, 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 not at all. And I'm just like, I feel so convicted in that moment. Like, dang, like, you know what? I ain't really supposed to be here, you know?
Yeah.
Um, because one of the things that my mom always did growing up was she would always pray with us. She would always pray with us, no matter what time it was. It would, be during the weekday or even on the weekend, house
Right.
cleaning or whatever the case may be. Didn't care if it was midnight or not. We are definitely about to pray. We are definitely about to
Right.
read the Lord's Prayer. And we are definitely about to go through Psalms 23. We're about to do all of that. And I
Right.
didn't really understand why we always had to do that because I was sleepy. I want to go to bed.
Right.
And there were so many of us, and she would have my nieces and nephews and stuff. And it was like a whole line of us that had to go through and say their prayer. And I'm like, this is just, I don't know why.
She
I
said,
can't
why we got
wait.
a prayer line?
Yes. I'm like, I cannot wait to get older so I don't have to sit here and do this all the time. Like, it's
Yes.
1 o'clock in the morning. She got us up doing the Lord's Prayer in Psalms 23. Like, oh, I'm just so tired. But that was the foundation, that was laid before me. I didn't even know what, all of that meant back then. But she
Yeah.
apparently was understanding that she was planting some seeds back then. So appreciative of that because now I have a better understanding of some of those scriptures that she placed in front of us back then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, so God started early, so then that way, when you heard that Kirk Franklin stop, because I think
Mm-hmm.
you got a couple people out here that that experienced that too. Hey, Chris. Chris said she said Kirk Franklin always killed the mood in the club.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And Miss Elise, hello. She was like, I was the one backing that thing up to stump. She wasn't herself, she said in that comment. I ain't gonna read it all, but that had me
That's
dying.
funny.
So you got some people who've been there with you. But so all right, so your adolescents, your teens, you trying to out here do the club life, but yet you still felt like you didn't belong. You
Mm-hmm.
had a little bit of, uh, teachings of the Lord, or
Mm-hmm.
being raised to know who God is.
Yep.
So now you hitting your early 20s. What's happening there? What's going on?
Whew. Okay, let me back up first
Uh-oh.
because
Oh, teens ain't even done yet. Oh, my bad.
girl, no, I just
Oh, she said, oh,
yeah.
okay. My
Well,
bad.
teens ain't done. I gotta, yeah. So, but I'll back up really quick because I think I was about, my mom always used to have us go to church. I grew up in a Baptist church and we would always go to church. Sometimes we would miss, and stop going for a few months here or there. But then when we was on, we was definitely on. We was in the choir. We was, there.
Right.
And I remember we were a part of it. My sister was a part of this teen group at the church. And I remember my first encounter with the Holy Ghost. I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea what it meant, but I just remember that I just cried. And I was probably about 10 years old. And I didn't really understand what it had meant or anything, but I wasn't scared. I
Yeah.
just cried because I'm just standing in this circle with the girls, and I'm the youngest of the pack, and
Right.
I just feel something come over me. I don't know what it is. I'm just
Right.
crying because it feels
Right.
different, but I'm not afraid. It feels this. So that was my first encounter um,
Oh,
with the
that's
Holy
good.
Ghost, and I think I just believe that was when there was some more. There was some water that was planted on those seeds.
Mm,
That there was water that
yeah.
was sprinkled on some of those seeds that my mom had planted back then, and then I started to grow. So when I did go to the club and hear Kirk Franklin, that I believe was part of that conviction when it me
Right.
feeling
Right.
convicted, like now better than be up here
There's a certain standard here.
exactly. And so we'll fast forward to my late teens and getting into my 20s. Well, I got pregnant with my oldest at 18.
Mm.
And so mind you, I started clubbing at about 12, 13. I was about 13.
Okay,
um
early clubber. Okay.
yes, because like I said, I was able to use the ID for the middle school because I was 14.
She
Yeah,
said
so
I didn't need
13.
nothing.
Mm-mm. So I was,
Okay.
so by then I was, and I don't even know what story I told my mom or where I was going or whatever it was, but I was just, I was doing me. I mean, if
Wow.
I could get a chance to go, I was going. But my mom had such a tight kind of hold on me that I really couldn't do too much.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things that I could do. She wouldn't let me be a part of the drill team because she said I wasn't going to be juking and gyrating and twisting my pelvis. She said I couldn't, participate in those kind of things.
She said you ain't
So
gonna get in that. Nuh-uh.
so I don't even know what story I told her that allowed me to be able to, break free and go to the club. I have no idea what story I told her. But I ended up getting pregnant with my oldest at 18 and I had her at 19. I met my husband when I was 15. 15, I met my husband when I was 15, not realizing that that was my husband. But remember, as I was growing up, I just remember praying as and I don't even know why I was praying about who I wanted my husband to be as a teenager. Like I don't know why I was, but
Okay.
I was praying and I was, making my list of what type of man I wanted, a whole laundry list of things. And one of the things that was like top on my list was light skinned. And for everybody that knows my husband, he is nowhere near light
He
skinned.
didn't hear that. Oh Lord, didn't hear your cry. He didn't hear it,
No, he
huh?
didn't. But he did give me my heart's desire. He did do that.
Amen.
Aside
Amen.
from the light skin, because that wasn't important.
That part he left off. That part. That part.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
And
shout out
so
to April and Miss Charlotte. Thank you all for tuning in. Sorry, go ahead.
it's okay. And so
Oh, and shout out to Paul. Shout out to Paul. We love you, bro.
oh yes, we do. So not realizing that that was my husband, but when you begin to do things at an early age and you don't really understand the significance of those things that you're doing, um God, there's a saying that says God protects babies and fools. And I was definitely into doing some foolish things
Mhm.
and not realizing that that was going to be the person that I end up with. But I didn't want anybody to know, that we were dating. It was like I wanted it to be a secret. He was doing his thing, but I just didn't want people to know or whatever. And I remember, fast forward, him and I dated off and on in high school. And I remember I got to my senior year and he would always call me and he would always ask me, how you doing or what's up with you or whatever, just checking in like every month or something. And I'm like, why does he keep calling? Like, I don't understand why he just
Right.
keeps calling me. So I'm like, Mom, just tell him I'm not here. And she was like, girl, if you don't want him calling here, you tell him to stop calling. I'm not gonna be lying for you. Here she is. Come get this phone. And so I just remember him calling and he was
Your
like,
mama put you on blast.
yes, she did.
Oh
And she didn't cover the phone or nothing. She just put me
that's when we
on.
had those landlines. I get
Yep.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just remember he would always check in on me. And one of my prayers was that, I would have one father for all of my children.
Mm.
I would marry the father of my children. I would be married to that individual and he would provide and he would, do the things that he needed to do as a father. And I can't imagine, you know, what life would be if God didn't grant those things for me. Because
Mm.
he delivered on every one of those things. Like I said, I got pregnant with Tamia at 18. I had her when I was 19, and we got married when I was 20. Now, listen, nobody prepared me.
Okay. Okay.
Nobody prepared me for that. Nobody prepared me for that. So here I am, just stepping out of, my adolescent years, basically
Right.
getting into adulthood, having a baby, getting married, dropped out of college, because I was so ashamed and embarrassed that I got pregnant in college. Nobody ever told me that, you can't get pregnant in college, but it was just something that I didn't know or wasn't aware that
Right.
people often did. And so I ended up dropping out of college and, um, ended up just, working and trying to do what I needed to do. But then I ended up getting married at 20 years old. So I don't know who I am at that because I haven't really found out who I am at
Still don't
that
know who you
point.
are. Yeah.
And so all of those childhood experiences as well, I didn't really talk about those things that I really, overcame or experienced as a child. But as you can imagine, there's things that may happen to you in your youth years or in your childhood years that are unimaginable, that
Right.
you don't think that other people may experience.
Mm.
But those things really do shape you to who you can become. Now they
Mm.
can either make you or break you, if you will.
Right.
And
Right.
I didn't allow those things that I had experienced in my childhood to define who I was. And
Mm.
it wasn't until um, I began to really um, wonder what this salvation thing was really like. One of the things that my husband told me early on is, if you want to be with me, you got to get baptized in Jesus' name. And
All
I'm head over
right.
heels for him. So I'm like, I don't mind getting baptized. I mean,
So
I was
just
baptized, at my other church, so it ain't gonna be nothing. Not
right.
realizing that God was gonna take complete control and do something
Wow.
with me that I never even had imagined. And so I really didn't know who I was, back then. And now fast forward to close to 40 years old now. I'm
Young
finding
40. Come on, young 40.
yes. I'm finding that a lot of those things that happened in my childhood um, begin to resurface in my adult life.
Mm.
So then it's like, okay, so now these things are happening. What do I do? And one of the things that my husband and I had decided early on, because we both came from homes where there were broken marriages. And one of the things that we both decided is that we ain't gonna play with it. We either gonna do it or we're not. Like, I'm not gonna waste your time. You're not gonna waste mine. And one of the things that we did is we stuck it out. We stuck it out, and we have endured, a lot of things. Um, we lost our first home together,
Mm.
not knowing where we were gonna go after that. Um,
Wow.
but God will place people in your life and in your path to really help you get you together. And that is
Mm.
exactly what
Wow.
happened with Billwell, Minnesota. Shout out to them and Elder McGee, who is our assistant pastor at my church now. He really made us take a closer look at ourselves
Mm.
and the things that we were doing and the things that we weren't doing, because nobody really prepared us
Right.
to
I was gonna
really
say 20 is a young age. Like
20s. Yeah.
you don't, like you said, you didn't really know yourself, and
Mm-mm.
you went from like 0 to 100 real
Mm-hmm.
quick,
Mm-hmm.
and with life experiences, because that is like um a baby and being a wife is like double. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Absolutely. So you can imagine having to, I'm still growing up, okay? Like, remember now, I'm the youngest of seven. I am so used to getting my way. Like, if I can't get it from this person, then I'm gonna go to the next person. But when you're
Mhm.
married, you can't do that. Even
You
though I
gotta
tried
stick
it,
it out. Come on. She said I tried it.
I did. But you're not supposed to do, you're really supposed to be working together and depending on one another to, bring each other up to that next level.
Mm.
And it wasn't until him and I gone through Bill Wealth, Minnesota, that really helped us to really get into our business and really dig deeper into the things that were most important. And my husband and I, listen, because I thought I was right. I thought he was crazy because I remember I saw my mom being a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
very strong, independent, and on her grind. So those qualities that she had, I also possess, but I have to still allow my husband to take the lead. And I didn't really know how to do that because I never saw that modeled. I
Right.
didn't know what that was like. So I was
Right.
trying to tell him what to do and how to do it.
Right.
But
You
instead
living
of
that independent life.
living that independent life dependently,
Tell the truth. Tell the
I had no
truth.
idea how to
Nah.
write checks or just those fundamental things. I mean, of course I knew how to write a check, but nobody told me that I had to have money in the account, stuff like that.
Right. Exactly. We just writing checks all day. All day.
Right. It was just those things fundamentally that I didn't allow myself to learn. And I won't say that I didn't no one tried to teach me, but was I even in the mindset to be teachable? Like,
Wow.
because I thought I had it all together. Mind you, if I couldn't get it from one person, I would just go to the next because that was my mindset. I had my mind set on something. And so I did everything that I wanted to do to make sure that I had achieved that.
Mm.
And it's just one of those things where when you go through this life of trials and tribulations and a lot of the things you bring on yourself. I'm guilty of bringing a lot of
Real.
different things and
That's real.
experiences on myself because I didn't listen. I
Right.
knew I shouldn't have been sneaking out to go meet up with my husband. Well, he wasn't my husband at the time, but I knew I shouldn't have been.
Right.
I'm just being
She had a
real.
side piece. Didn't want nobody to
I'm
know
just,
about it.
but I knew I shouldn't have been sneaking
Well,
out to go meet up with him. And
right.
my mom, I mean, she caught me, but she let me. She knew I was lying.
Mm.
She knew that I was lying. And she didn't just sit back and allow me to do that, but she did um, pray with me. Even as a teenager in high school, one of the rules was a family that prays together stays together. So you gonna come in and you gonna sit down and we're gonna do this prayer. I don't care if it's 12 or 1, we gonna get it. And so those prayers and those scriptures were a foundation for me that has shaped me into who I am, still becoming still to this day. And being so young and married, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my voice was like. I didn't really even know that I had a voice because all I heard in church would be submissive. Submit to your husband.
And what did you think that was at that time?
Whatever he said, do.
Is that what it is to you today?
Um,
She said,
it's a submissive is about not fighting.
mm-hmm.
If he is the head and if God has put him in charge, which he has, I should have no qualms about submitting because I'm trusting God, who is his head. And yes, it does mean that allowing him to take the lead, but in that submitting doesn't mean that he has all of the answers. It
Right.
doesn't mean that he has the final say. Well, he does have the final say, but it's a partnership.
Right.
It's a partnership. And so those were things that it was just kind of touched on a little bit and never really well, I never really understood, okay, well, how do you submit? Well, what does that look like? Well, what
Right.
does that really mean? So can I say something back? Well, the way my mouth was set up still sometimes today, Lord forgive me. The Lord's
The
still
Lord
working
is
on me.
not through with
He
me
ain't through
yet.
with me yet. But sometimes you can't say what comes to your mind,
Mm.
and he has feelings.
Say it.
He
Say it.
has feelings. And
Yeah.
when a man finally articulates his feelings in words, that's very important because you don't find that too often where a man will articulate his feelings through words. And
Mm.
so Paul and I used to really, and I'm talking about marriages right now, so bear with me.
That's all right.
Him and
Help
I,
us. Help us.
him and I
Help
used
us.
to really get into it. Him and
Mm.
I used to really, really get into it. I mean, argue a lot. And it wasn't until We got our finances and everything in order, and we were able to get ourselves back into home ownership again. Not too long after we lost our first home,
Wow.
at a lower interest rate
Come on,
than where
Jesus.
we were at before. Because the first home we were sought out by predatory lending and whatever, and we decided we can't afford this. I mean, it's $1,600 a month.
Wow.
We back then in the early 2000s, we wasn't, able to afford anything that expensive. But God gave us double for our trouble. And I just believe that because we stayed in the fire and we
Amen.
decided, we made the decision to stay and to stick it out, because it was easy
Yes.
to walk away.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have been super. Listen, I was getting a divorce every other week. You hear me?
She said, listen, I have
every
papers.
every every other week. And I'm sure if you ask him, he probably was getting a divorce on the weeks that I wasn't. You hear what I'm talking about? Because I was a mess, and I still am, working through some of my, personal challenges, and he's working through some of his personal challenges. But one
Amen.
of the things that we decided is that we're going to communicate. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And so one of the things that I love and I appreciate God for is his grace.
Amen.
His grace. Because Paul could have easily just been like, you know what, this chick is a little too much.
Okay.
This chick is a little too much. And for those that may be watching or whatever that know the story about the cell phone, I still have some growing to do.
He ain't through with her yet,
He ain't
okay?
through it yet. But he changed my name in his phone to Tamika the Brat. He was like, "You're just a brat. You always
Stop.
want your way." And I'm just like, you know, but I just thank God that he allowed us to grow so much to where we're
Amen.
able to show my kids, my oldest two children saw how much me and my husband used to fight and argue,
Mm.
right? Um, she said, "Mom, I used to be so scared." She was about 10 years old. "Mom, I used to be so scared. I used to be so scared when you and Dad used to fight and argue." And she said to me in that moment, "But you guys don't even fight anymore." As she's laughing, "You guys may say something and then you guys are back friends and talking and laughing just a few minutes later. So you guys don't even stay mad that long." But see, that's the
Mhm.
beauty of allowing God to really work on you and work through some things,
Yeah.
because she could have saw us tear our family apart and
Wow.
throw it completely away. But God allowed us, through his grace and his mercy, to show her how to respectfully disagree now
Mm.
and be a little bit more understanding to one another. So we had to model a couple of things. Now we don't cut up royally. We don't cut up. So now we got to show.
Right, right.
Now we got to show
You
them.
gotta fix this.
We got to show them some other examples of what you can allow God to do with
Wow.
you. But he had to take me through some things. So aside from my husband, he had to work on me first,
I
and
was
he
gonna
had to
say you had to
first,
go through some breaking yourself, right? You had
man.
to rebuild because, like you said, some of those old thoughts and mentalities that you had could not live where you were in the present. So it had to be broken. So yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. One of the things that I struggle with was my identity and
Mm.
really loving all of me. When I say all of me, I mean all of me, even the imperfections, even the things that I don't like. Um, and I have struggled with, my weight for years. And I've always, and if anybody sees my Facebook, they'll see a whole bunch of headshots, or my Snapchat, they'll see a whole bunch of headshots, but it's very, very rare where you'll see me post a full body picture of myself. But God has given me so much courage, and he's worked on me so much
Amen.
to where I posted my first full mirror body picture
Come on.
last week.
Come
And I
on.
felt so good
Yes.
about the progress that I've made.
Amen.
And he had to take me through some things though. It was hard. And it's hard to see yourself. It's hard
Say
to see
that again.
yourself,
It is.
because at being me, I'm just like, how can anybody not like me? Like, how could well, your attitude is kind of jacked up. You're
Right.
kind of messy. Like the way you say things, you come off like you're perfect. And I didn't see that.
Mhm.
I didn't see that about myself, you
Yeah.
know. But it was one of those things where God had to show me, and that was the hardest thing that I have ever had to face, is really seeing myself
Mhm.
in total um light. Like it was hard to see that, and to see it and then have to make the proper adjustments to really be who God has created me to be, and
Mhm.
be confident in that.
Wow.
Because I can, be confident in a lot of things for other people, but can I really be confident in what God has given me?
Whew, that's a word. Okay.
And
That is a word.
I haven't always felt that confidence.
Right.
I haven't always felt that confidence, but
That's
God
real.
is truly, truly, truly still working on me. Still
Amen.
working on me.
Amen.
Um, to the point where things happen out of the blue and I don't understand it. And I've called you like, girl, I don't understand. Like, why is and you're like,
Yes.
if you don't get yourself together, like this is what you're
Whole
supposed to
self.
be doing. And I'm like, well, I don't understand. Why am I the one? Why but
Exactly.
when God gives you something, he trusts me enough to be able to carry it out to the fullest. So those past experiences, seeing things that I've seen, people being hurt in front of me,
Mm.
people struggling with addictions
Oh,
in my family,
wow.
people,
Family
you
members.
know,
Yeah. Wow.
going through things. I'm going through things. I don't know who I am. God has trusted me enough
Mm.
to go through these things and to see these things, because he trusts me enough to do something with it. He
Mm.
knows that I'm going to lay it at his feet. He
Mm.
knows that it bothers me enough to take it to him in prayer. And so a lot of these things that we see and that we go through, it's not by accident. It's by divine purpose, because God trusts us enough to deal with those things. And yea, though I walk through the valleys of the shadow of death,
Come
I
on,
will fear no
y'all.
evil. So it's like, when God is on your side,
Mm.
how can you fear?
Mm.
And what is on the other side of fear?
Well, what's on the other side?
What's on the other side of fear? And because I'm crazy enough to go over there and see what they talking about on the other side of fear, because I
Right.
need to see this,
Right.
and I'm just so grateful to God for his grace and his mercy, for doing and allowing these things to um happen to me in my life. Now I can live out and be a testimony to other people. And that's why God gave me the name Inner You for my business,
Mm.
because I never want anybody to ever leave my chair
Mm.
and not embracing their whole inner self.
Come on.
That's where I get my joy. That's where I really find peace,
Thank
is
you.
when people can tell me, and when I can just see their expression on their whole body language has changed and has
Everything.
shifted.
Yes.
Everything changes.
Everything.
And my prayer is that no, it's not a church, but if you want to come into the salon and have church, we
It's
can
a
do
whole
that too.
revival, saints. It's a whole revival.
We can make it do exactly what it do. But
Man,
my
I was just sitting in the shop. I wasn't even getting myself done. And I'll be in there with revival, okay? So just
I mean,
forewarning.
you never know what folks are going through. And there's so many people that have come in and have blessed me and
Mm.
have been such a blessing to me, and have poured into me,
Man.
not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, just encouraging me to continue. And being able to do that, oh, I
Mm.
got to embrace this. So I'm embracing my whole inner self. And that's my tagline: embrace your inner you.
Wow.
Because a lot of times we hide behind what people can see us as on the outside.
Real.
We hide behind who we really are because we're afraid that people won't like us, or that people won't understand, or that, folks will see us differently, and that's okay. And I am becoming okay with
Yes.
being who I am,
Amen.
because God has given me something so dope and so unique
Yeah.
that it's unmatched to anybody else. Like,
Mm.
I'm so unique and so different. And if I can carry out my assignment, surely y'all can carry out yours. And I just bless God and thank God for this opportunity and this platform. Sis,
Man.
I really
We
appreciate you
ain't even
pulling me out of
done.
my
What you
comfort zone.
talking? She trying to
Um,
close the church, y'all. She trying to
yeah,
close.
and in my close.
She trying to close the church, but we didn't even get into a whole lot because I wanted to ask you if you could tell. I mean, we got
Mhm.
5 minutes, so I'm going to ask you this question: if you
Okay.
could tell the teen what you know now, what would you say to her?
Ooh. Now, see, we was about to close, and you trying to make me
See, no,
cry.
the
Like,
Lord
what are we
said, not yet,
doing?
not
What are we doing here?
yet.
Uh, if I could tell my teen self, um, be proud of who you are. Be proud of who you are. Be confident in who you are. Um, Search out those things that you don't really know. Do some research and find some more understanding. Um, that's what I would tell my teen self. And it's amazing that you asked me that, because I have teenagers, and I tell them all the time, don't take my word for anything. You need to seek it out for yourself, because ultimately it's your life at the end of the day. Because I'm gonna be chilling in my life. I'm gonna be doing me.
Okay.
Me
Okay.
and my boo, about to be getting our travel on and
Y'all
doing
living
us, living our whole best life. So the life you choose
Mm,
is about you. And so I would definitely tell my teen self to be confident in who you are. It's okay to be different.
yes.
Embrace yourself, embrace your whole self. And when you don't understand, ask questions. And those life experiences that you've gone through so far, it's a blessing for somebody else. Everything that you've gone through is to get you through to where you are now and be a blessing and a testimony to those that are around you. So
Amen.
that's what I would definitely tell my teen self.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's real. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. Like I said, we didn't even we this is the surface. She don't know this, but she's gonna come back for part two next season. It's fine. It's fine because we didn't even hit some of the other questions I had. So it's fine.
Wow.
But like I said, I hope you all were blessed by her testimony, by this conversation, that knowing that whatever you've been through, whatever you've experienced, that it's actually evolving you into what God has called you for and what He's calling you into. And yes, we may make our own life decisions and we may make our own steps, but God can still meet you in those very places and get you back into alignment. And one thing I love that you talked about, especially when you're talking about you and your husband's relationship, is that you guys stuck through it. And I think God honors that the most. If
Absolutely.
anything, if you can stick through it, because I was listening to Bible class last week with Pastor Chris Foster, and he was speaking about the woman whose daughter was vexed with the spirit. And we always talk about how the Lord called her a dog and all
Mhm.
these things, but she faced like 4 rejections before he actually told her she had great faith. And that's what made her faith great, is that she suffered through the rejection. She suffered
Mhm.
through the hardship. She suffered through the no's and the people telling her to be quiet and don't talk to him and, all those things. And so that's the biggest thing, is that you got to tell those voices that keep trying to raise up in your past and ignore them and push through them and strive through them. Yes, you may have failed. Yes, you may have, suffered divorce. You may have suffered, molestation or, anything,
Absolutely.
bankruptcy,
Mm-hmm.
sickness. I don't care what it is, but even just emotionally, that
That.
God can heal you. God can get you through, but you got to push through. Because there is no mountain too high,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no valley too low. And I'm not singing the worldly song. This is Psalms, okay? That God literally, I mean, in His Word, He says, "Tell that mountain, be thou removed." He says that He is the lily in the valley. He will
Mm-hmm.
bring you life in the midst of the lowest places, and so I just, like I said, I'm just throwing my 2 cents, co-signing everything she said tonight was legit. And so, like I said, I pray that you all were blessed. And next time you're gonna have to sing just a little bit for us as well. But we'll
You
talk about
tripping.
that later.
You tripping.
She said you doing too much now. Okay. All right. Well, like I promised you all, but before that, please follow her if you are not following her on social media, and on Instagram. Like she said, that she does interlocks and natural hairstyles and treatments and so forth. If you're ever in the St. Paul area, you definitely want to look her up just to come hang out at the shop in Revival. You want to come see her, all right? Um, so like I said, tonight, for all you, thank you all for hanging out with us. And once again, shout out to all you replayers. One of you lucky tea time members in the church tonight we'll get a teacup of your choice. So Miss Tamika, you get to pick a number. Let's see how many viewers we got. It says 4, but people keep jumping in and out. Let's see, number between 1 and 20. We'll do it that way. 1 and 20. You got the number. So all of you pick a number between 1 and 20, and whoever matches her number will get that teacup. So I'll give you all a few minutes. Like I said, as she's going, or as we're waiting for y'all to respond, because I think there's a delay, that I'll go back through some of our announcements. Like I said, next week we'll be working on vision boards. So be sure to get your vision board together, get your materials. Oh, and actually, I have to sponsor somebody actually tonight too. So we will do that as well. So anybody that wants to do a vision board tonight, or not tonight, next week with me, I want to sponsor somebody to do the vision board. And all of you that do get your materials and get it together and join in on the party, like I said, we're going to talk about vision. We'll play some games. You know how we do with the virtual games. So you'll definitely want to stay tuned for that. So I have to figure out how I'm going to sponsor somebody. But let's get this teacup given away. Um, I'll give it a couple more minutes. So yeah, that will be our last tea time for the season. Thank you all for your love, support, and everything that you guys have shared on here, comments, by sharing it. You guys truly are a blessing, and I hope that it is a blessing to you. And please, please, please give your feedback, good or bad. DM me. Let me know what you think about Tea Time with Liz, because I do this for you. I don't do this for myself. Trust me, I could do a million things on a Monday night. But yet the Lord has called me to do such a thing as this in this season. So, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I do love it. So, but I would love to get your feedback. Tell me what you want to see in the next season, because I want to bring that stuff to you. So, all right. So it looks like we got only a couple more minutes. I'll give it a couple more seconds, because I don't see any more numbers coming up. But otherwise, um, My sister, I'm waiting for my teacup. She thinks she's gonna win now. If the number is 7, we got 2 sevens out here. So I don't know what's gonna happen on that. Um, thank you, Miss Lillian. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed the topic tonight. All right, so April, you're gonna be the last. Which number you want, April?
Leave it to
she she out here trying to choose all the numbers.
her. Do you want me to say the number yet?
Looks like Vanessa's talking about 1 through 20. All right, I'm taking y'all's first answers. All right, go ahead and tell me your number. Tell the group your number.
The number is 17.
17. All right. Who was closest to 17? I think it was Vanessa. She was closest. She said 14. So, Vanessa, you are the lucky winner of the teacup. All right. Congratulations to my sister. My family on here always winning, but that's all right. It's blessed and highly favored.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I want to sponsor somebody this week, so stay tuned. Actually, just stay tuned on Facebook. I will make a special post or go live, and we will give that cash out for you to do your vision board. Now, you definitely got to show your proof that you did your vision board, because I will send a Cash App request back for my money. So don't play, sister. I know people in these streets. No, I'm just kidding. Apparently, yeah, we ain't even gonna go there. Anyway, so just stay tuned this week for a live pop-up for the giveaway for the vision board. So with all that being said, thank you all once again for tuning in. We love you all. Thank you, Miss Tamika, for sharing your heart tonight and your wisdom, your words of life. We're looking forward to you on the next Tea Time with Liz. All right. You all be blessed, and we will talk to y'all soon. God bless you.
God bless you all.